Him to the journey through the scriptures. We are doing Ezekiel starting from chapter 35 to chapter 48. We invite you as we study and learn the word of Yahweh together, and we hope that it will be a blessing to you. This is Brother Victor Kiiru coming live to you from Nairobi, Kenya. We are reading Ezekiel chapter 35, but I want us to start from chapter 34, verses 10. I've gone back a little bit. Ezekiel chapter 34, I want to start from verse 10. Thus saying, my sovereign Yahweh, behold, I am against the shepherd, and I will require my flock at their hand, and I will cause them to cease from feeding the flock, neither shall the shepherd feed themselves anymore, for I will deliver my flock from the mouth that they may not eat for them. Thus say my surveying Yahweh, behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out, as the shepherd seeks out his flock in the day that is among his sheep that are scattered, and I will seek out my sheep and will deliver them out of all the places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. And I will bring them out from the people and gather them from the countries, and I will bring them to their own land and feed them upon the mountains of Israel by the rivers and in all the inhabitant places of the country. And I will feed them in a good pasture, and upon the high mountain of Israel shall their folds be, and they shall lie in the good fold and in the fat pasture. They shall feed upon the mountains of Israel. I will feed my flock, and I will cause them to lie down, says my sovereign Yahweh. I will seek that which was lost, and bring again that which was driven away, and will bind up that which was broken, and will strengthen that which was sick. But I will destroy the fat and the strong. I will feed them with judgment. And as for you, O my flock, that say my sovereign Yahweh, behold, I judge between cattle and cattle, between rams and the goats. Since it is a small thing unto you, you have eaten up the good pasture, but you have must tread down with your feet the residue of your pastures, and to the drunk of the deep waters. But you must fall by the residues with your feet. And as for my flock, they eat that which was reddened with their feet, and they drink that which was foaled by their feet. Therefore thus says my sovereign Yahweh unto them, behold, I, even I, will judge between the fat and cattle, and between the lean cattle, because you have thrust with side and with shoulder, and pushed all the diseases with your horns, till you have scattered them abroad. Therefore I will save my flock, and they shall no more be a prey, and I will judge between cattle and cattle, and I will set them up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David, he shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd. And I, Yahweh, will be their Elohim, and my servant David, a prince among them. I, Yahweh, have spoken it, and I will make with them a covenant of peace, and I will cause the evil beast to cease out of the land, and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness and sleep in the woods. And I will make them the places round about my hill a blessing, and I will cause the shower to come down in its season. There shall be showers of blessing. And the tree of the field shall yield her fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase, and they shall be safe in their land. And they shall know that I am Yahweh, which I have broken the bands of their yoke, and delivered them out of the land of those that serve themselves of them. And they shall no more be a prey to the heathen, neither shall be a beast of the land devour them, but they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid. And I will raise up for them a plant of renown, and they shall be no more consumed with hunger in the land, neither bear the shame of their heathen anymore. And they shall, thus shall they know that I am Yahweh the Elohim. I am with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, says my sovereign Yahweh. And you, my flock, and the flock of my pastures, are men, and I am your Elohim, says my sovereign Yahweh. We are now reading from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, and I want us to start from verses 1. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set your face against Mount Tyre, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus say my sovereign Yahweh, behold, O Mount Tyre, I am against you, and I will stretch out my hand against you, and I will make you most desolate, and I will lay your cities waste, and you shall be desolate. And you shall know that I am Yahweh, because you have a perpetual hatred, and have shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that the iniquity had an end. Therefore, also as I live, says my sovereign Yahweh, I will prepare unto you blood, and the blood shall pursue you. See, you has not hated blood, even blood shall pursue you. Thus I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off it him that passes out, and him that returns. And I will fill his mountain with his slain men in thy hills, and in the Hunt's valley, and all the rivers shall be full with their slain with a sword. I will make you perpetual desolation, and your city shall not return, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. Because you have said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and will possess it, where thus Yahweh was there. Therefore, as I live, says my sovereign Yahweh, I will even do according to the anger and according to the envy. And you have used out your hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged you. And you shall know that I am Yahweh, and that I have heard all the blasphemies which you have spoken against the mountain of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. Thus with your mouth you have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus has my sovereign Yahweh, when the whole earth rejoiced, I will make you desolate. And you didn't rejoice at the inheritance of house of Israel, because it was desolate. So I will do unto you, you shall be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, you shall know that I am Yahweh. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 36. Also, you son of man, prophesy unto the mountain of Israel, and say, you mountain of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus say my sovereign Yahweh, because the enemy hath said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Therefore prophesy and say, thus say my sovereign Yahweh, because they have made you desolate and swallowed up on every side, that you may be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and you are taken up in their lips of talkers, and are in infamy of your people. Therefore your mountain of Israel, hear the word of its sovereign Yahweh. Thus say my sovereign Yahweh, to the mountain, and to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, to the desolate waste, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and desolate, to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore thus say my sovereign Yahweh, surely in the fire of the jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against the Edom, which have appointed my land into the possession, with the joy of all their hearts, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountain, and to the hills, to the rivers, to the valley, thus say my sovereign Yahweh, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy, and in my fury, because you have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore thus say my sovereign Yahweh, I have lifted up my hand, surely the heathen that are about you, they shall bear their shame. But you, O mountain of Israel, you shall shoot forth your branches, and yield your fruits to my people of Israel, for they are at hand to come. For behold, I am for you, and I will turn unto you, and you shall be tilled and sown. And I will multiply men upon you, and all the houses of Israel, even all of it, and the city shall be inhabited, and the waste shall be builded. And I will multiply upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bring fruit. And I will settle you after the old estates, and will do better unto you than at your beginnings, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. Yeah, I will cause men to walk upon you, even my people Israel, they shall possess you, and you shall be their inheritance, and you shall no more henceforth bereave them of men. Thus say my sovereign Yahweh, because they say unto you, your land divorced up men, and you have bereaved their nation. Therefore you shall devour men no more, neither bereave their nation any more. Thus say my sovereign Yahweh, neither will I cause men to hear in you the shame of the heathen any more, neither shall you bear the reproach of the people anymore, neither shall you cause the nation to fall anymore, says my sovereign Yahweh. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwell in their own land, they defile it by their own way and by their own doing. Their way was before me as uncleanness of a removed woman. Therefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood, and they had shed upon the land, and for their idols wherewith they have polluted it. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries according to their way and according to their doings. I judged them. And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name, when they said to them, These are the people of Yahweh, and are gone forth out of his land. But I had pity for my holy name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen where they went. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, Thus say my sovereign Yahweh, I do not this for my sake, O house of Israel, but for my holy name's sake, which you have profaned among the heathen whither they went. And I will sanctify my great name, which you profane among the heathen, which you have profaned in the midst of them that are the heathen, shall know that I am Yahweh, saying my sovereign Yahweh, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. For I will take you from among the heathen, and gather you out of all the countries, and bring you into your own land. Then I will sprinkle clean waters upon you, and you shall be clean from all the filthiness and from all your idols, will I cleanse you. A new heart also I will give you, a new spirit I will put within you, and I will take the stony heart of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. And I will put my spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you shall keep my judgment and do them. You shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and you shall be my people, and I will be your Elohim. I will also save you from all your uncleanness. I will call for the corn, and will increase it, and lay no famine upon him. And I will multiply the fruit of their tree, and the increase of their field, that you shall receive no more reproach of famine among the heathen. And you shall remember your own evil ways and your doing, and they were not good. And you shall lose yourself in your own sight for your iniquities and for your abomination. Not for your sake do I this, say the sovereign Yahweh. Be it known unto you. Be ashamed and confronted for your own ways, O house of Israel. Thus say my sovereign Yahweh, in the day that I shall have cleansed you from all your iniquities, I will also cause you to dwell in the cities, and the waste shall be builded. And the desolate land shall be tilled, whereas it shall lay desolate in the sight of all that passed by. And they shall say, this land was the desolate, is become like the Garden of Eden, and the waste of the desolate and ruined cities are become fenced and are inhabited. Then the heathen that are left around about you shall know, I Yahweh build the ruined places and plan that which was desolate. I Yahweh have spoken it, and I will do it. Thus say my sovereign Yahweh, I will yet for this be inquired of the house of Israel to do it for them. I will increase them with men like a flock. As the holy flock has the flock of Jerusalem in her solemn feast, so shall the waste cities be filled with the flocks of men, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. Ezekiel chapter 37, the hand of Yahweh was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of Yahweh, and set me down in the midst of the valley which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, they were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can this bone live? And I answered, O my sovereign Yahweh, you know. Again he said unto me, prophesy unto this bone, and say unto them, O you dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus say my sovereign Yahweh unto this bone, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live. And I will lay swines upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and you shall live, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. So I prophesied, I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the swines of the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus say my sovereign Yahweh, come from the four winds of breath, and breath upon the slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he had commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and stood up upon their feet, and exceeded a great army. And he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off from our path. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus say my sovereign Yahweh, behold, O my people, I will open your graves, and cause you to come up out of the graves, and bring you to the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am Yahweh, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of the graves. And you shall put my spirit in, and I shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live. And I shall place you in your own land. Then shall you know that I, Yahweh, have spoken it and performed it, says Yahweh. The word of Yahweh came unto me the word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, moreover, you son of man, take thee one stick, and write upon it, for Judah, and for the children of Israel his companion. Then take another stick, and write it upon for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel and his companion. And join them together one into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto you, saying, will you not show us what you mean by this? Say unto them, thus say my sovereign Yahweh, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel his Pharaoh, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. And this stick wherefore you shall rise shall be in your hand before your eyes. And say unto them, thus say my sovereign Yahweh, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountain of Israel, and one king shall be the king of all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgression. But I will save them of all their dwelling place wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So they be my people, and I be their Elohim. And David my servant shall be the king over them, and they shall have one shepherd, and they shall also walk in my judgment, and observe my statutes, and do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given them unto Jacob my servant, wherewith your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even and their children's children forever, and my servant David shall be their prince forever. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them, and I will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. My tabernacle also shall be with them. Yeah, I will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, Yahweh, do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them evermore. We are now reading the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 38. Read with me the book of Ezekiel chapter 38. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set your face against Gog and the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tabul, and prophesy against him. And say, thus say my sovereign Yahweh, behold, I am against you, O Gog, and the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks in their jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all their army horses and horsemen, and all their clothes with all sort of armor, even a great company with bullocks and shield, and all of them handling sword. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, and all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his band, the house of Togorma of the north quarters of all the bands, and many people with you. Be you prepared, and prepare for yourself, you and all the company that are assembled unto thee, and you be a guard unto them. After many days you shall be visited in the latter years, and you shall come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountain of Israel, which has been always waste, but it shall be bring forth out of the nation, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. And you shall ascend and come like a storm. You shall be like a cloud to cover the land, you and all their bands, and many people with you. Thus say Sovereign Yahweh, it shall also come to pass that at the same time they shall come into your mind, and you shall think an evil thought. And you shall say, I will go up in the land of the unwelling and walled village. I will go unto them that are rest, that they dwell safely, and all them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates, to take spoil and to take prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon people that are gathered out of the nation, which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba and Edom and the merchant of Tarshish with all the young lions. Therefore shall you say unto them that are come to take a spoil, you have gathered the companies to take a prey, and to carry away silver, gold, and take away cattle and goods, and take a great spoil. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, thus say Sovereign Yahweh, in that day when the people of Israel dwell safely, shall you not know it, and you shall come from your places from the north path, and many people with you, and all them riding upon horses, and a great company and a mighty army. And you shall come up against my people Israel as a cloud to cover in the land, and it shall be in the latter days, I will bring you against my land, that the heathen may know me, when I shall be sanctified in you, O Gog, before your eyes. Thus say my sovereign Yahweh, at you he of whom I have spoken in the old times by my servant and the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years, that I will bring you against them. And it shall come to pass at the same time, when Gog shall come against the land of people, says my sovereign Yahweh, and my fury shall come up in my face. For in my jealousy and in my fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, so that the fishes of the sea, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the field, and all the creeping things that creep upon the earth, and all that men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall up to the ground. And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, say my sovereign Yahweh. Every man's sword shall be against his brother, and I will plead against him with pesticides, and with blood I will rain upon him, and upon his band, and upon many people that are with him, and overflowing rain, and great hailstone, fire, and brimstone. That thus I will magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. Ezekiel chapter 39. Therefore, you son of man, prophesy against Gog, and say unto thus say my sovereign Yahweh, behold, I am against you, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach, and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and leave by the sixth part of this, and I will cause you to come up from the north pass, and I will bring you upon the mountain of Israel. And I will smite your bow out of the left hand, and will cause the arrows to fall out of your right hand, And you shall fall upon the mountain of Israel, you and all the bands of the people is with you. And I will give you unto the ravens bands, and every shot of the beasts of the fields to be devoured. And you shall fall upon the open field, for I have spoken it, says my sovereign Yahweh. And I will set a fire on Magog, and among them that dwell carelessly in the ice, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. So I will make my holy name known in the midst of my people Israel, and I will not let them pollute my holy name anymore, and the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, the Holy One in Israel. Behold, it is come, and it is done, says my sovereign Yahweh. This is the day, therefore I have spoken. And they have dwelt in the city of Israel shall go forth, and shall set on fire the band, the weapons, both the shield and the bucklers, and the bows and the arrows and the lances and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years. So that they shall take no wood out of the land field, neither cut down any out of the forest, for they shall burn the weapon with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoil them, and rob those that rob them, says my sovereign Yahweh. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto Gog a place there of graves in Israel, the valley of the passengers on the east of the sea, and he shall stop the noses of the passengers, and they shall bury Gog and all the multitudes, and they shall call it the valley of the Hamagog. And the 7 months shall be the house of Israel be burying of them, and they may cleanse the land. You and all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renowned day, and it shall be glorified, says my sovereign Yahweh. And they shall sever out men of continual employment passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth to cleanse it. After the end of the 7 months shall they search. And all the passengers that pass through the land, when any sees a man born, then shall he set upon a sign by it, till the barriers have buried it in the valley of Hamagog. And also the name of the city shall be Hamon, thus shall they cleanse the land. And you, son of man, thus say my sovereign Yahweh, speak unto every feathered fowl, and to every beast in the field, assemble yourself and come gather yourself on every side to my sacrifice that I do sacrifice for you, even a great sacrifice upon the mountain of Israel, that you may eat flesh and drink blood. You shall eat the flesh of the mighty, and drink the blood of the princes of the earth, of rams, of lambs, of goats, bullocks, and all them fatling of Bashan. And you shall eat fat till you be full, and drink blood till you be drunken of my sacrifice which I have sacrificed for you. Thus you shall be filled at my table with horses and chariots, with mighty men, and with all men of war, says my sovereign Yahweh. And I will set my glory among the heathen, and all the heathen shall see my judgment that I have executed my hand, and I have laid upon them. So the house of Israel shall know that I am Yahweh the Elohim from the day forward. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. Therefore I hid myself from them, and gave them into the hands of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword, according to their uncleanness, and according to their transgression have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. Therefore thus says my sovereign Yahweh, now will I bring again the captivity of Jacob, and have mercy upon the whole house of Israel, and will jealousy for my holy name. And that they may have borne their shame and all their trespass, whereby they have trespassed against me, when they dwell safely in their land, and none made them afraid. When I have brought them again from the people, and gathered them out of the enemy's land, and I am sanctified in them in the sight of many nations, they shall know that I am Yahweh the Elohim, which caused them to be led into captivity among the heathen. But I have gathered them into their own land, and have let none of them any more there. Neither will I hide my face any more from them, for I have poured out my spirit upon the house of Israel, saying my sovereign Yahweh. The book of Ezekiel, and we want to read the book of Ezekiel, chapter 40. I hope you are reading with me, so that we can be able to learn the word of Yahweh together, and I know you will be blessed. Ezekiel chapter 40, it reads, in the 25th year of our captivity, in the beginning of the year, in the 10th day of the month, in the 14th year after the city was smitten, in the same day, the hand of Yahweh was upon me, and brought me there, and the vision of Elohim brought he me in the land of the Israel, and set me upon a very high mountain, by which was at the frame of a city of the south. And he brought me there, and behold, there was a man whose appearance like an appearance of brass, with a linen wax in his hand, and a measuring reed, and he stood in the gate. And the man said unto me, Son of man, behold with thy eyes, and hear with thy ears, and set thy heart upon all that I have shown you. For the intent that I might show you them unto thee art thou brought hither, declare all that is seized in the house of Israel. And behold, a wall on the outside of the house round about, and in the man's hand a measuring reed of 6 cubits long by the cubit, and the hard breadth So he measured the breadth of the building 1 reed, and of the height 1 reed. Then came he unto the gate which looked toward the east, and he went up the stairs therefore and measured the threshold of the gate, which was 1 reed broad, and the other threshold of the gate, which was 1 reed broad. And every little chamber was 1 reed long and 1 reed broad. And between the little chambers were 5 cubits, and the threshold of the gates of the porch of the gates within one was 1 reed. He measured also the porch of the gates wherein 1 reed. Then measured he the porch of the gate 8 cubit, and the post therefore 2 cubits, and the porch of the gate was inward. And the little chambers of the gate eastward were 3 on this side, and 3 on the side, and 3 were of 1 measure, and the post had 1 measure on this side and on that side. And he measured the breadth of the entry of the gate 10 cubic, and the length of the gate there in cubic. The space also before the little chamber was 1 cubic on this side, and the space was 1 cubic on that side, and the little chambers were 6 cubic on the side and 6 cubic on that side. He measured them, then the gate from the roof of 1 little chamber and 1 on the roof of another, and breach was 5 and 20 cubits door against door. He made also a post of 3 scores cubit, even unto the post of the coast round about the gate. And from the face of the gate of the entrance unto the face of the porch of the inner gate were 50 cubits. And there were narrow windows to the little cubic, and to their ports within the gates round about, and likewise the arch on the windows round about inwards, and upon each post were palm trees. Then brought he me into the outward court, and lo, there were chambers, and a pavement made for the court round about, 30 chambers upon the pavement. And the pavement by the side of the gate over against the length of the gate was the lower pavement. When he measured the breadth of the forefront of the lower gate unto the forefront of the inner gate without 100 cubits eastward and northwards. And the gate of the outward course that looked towards the north, he measured the length therefore and the breadth therefore. And the little chamber therefore were 3 on this side and 3 on that side. And the post therefore and the archery therefore were after the measure of the first gate. The length therefore was 50 cubits, and the breadth 5 and 20 cubits. And their windows and their archeries and their palm trees were after the measure of the gates that looked toward the east, as they went up into 7 steps, and archery therefore were before them. And the gates of the inner courts were over against the gates toward the north and toward the east, and they measured from gate to gate 100 cubits. And after he brought me towards the south, and behold, a gate toward the south, he measured the post therefore and archered therefore according to this measure. And there were windows in it, and in the archer therefore round about, like those windows, the length was 50 cubits, and the breadth 5 and 20 cubits. And there were 7 steps to go up to it, and archers therefore were before them, and it had palm trees on one on this side and another on that side upon the post therefore. And there was a gate in the inner court toward the south, and he measured from the gate to the gate toward the south and 100 cubits. And he brought me into the inner court by the south of the gate, and he measured the south gate according to these measures. And the little chambers therefore, and the post therefore, and the chambers therefore, according to the measure of this, there were windows in it. And the arches therefore round about it was 50 cubits long and 5 and 20 cubits abroad. And the archery round about were 5 and 20 cubits long and 5 cubits abroad. And the archeries therefore were towards the outer court, and the palm tree were upon the post therefore, and the going up to it had 8 steps. And he brought me into the inner part towards the east, and he measured the gates according to their measures. And the little chambers therefore, and the post therefore, and the archery therefore were according to these measures, and there were windows therein, and in the archery therefore round about. It was 50 cubits long and 5 and 20 cubits broad. And the archers therefore were towards the outward court, and the palm trees were upon the post therefore on the side and on that side, and going up to it had 8 steps. And he brought me to the north gate, and he measured it according to this measure. The little chamber therefore, the post therefore, and the archery therefore, and the windows to it round about was length 50 cubits, and the breadth 5 and 20 cubits. And the posts of therefore were towards the outer courts, and the palm trees were upon the post therefore on the side, and the other side, and were going up to it, and had 8 steps. And the chambers and the entries therefore were by the post of the gates. They were washed the burnt offering. And in the porch of the gates were 2 tables on this side, and the 2 tables on that side, to slay therefore of the burnt offering, and the sin offering, and the trespass offering. And at that side without, as one goes up to the entry of the north gate, there were 2 tables, and on the other side which was the porch of the gate, were 2 tables. 4 tables were on this side of the 4 tables, on that side by the side of the gate, 8 tables, wherein they slew their sacrifice. And 4 tables were of heath stone for the burnt offering, of a cubit and a half long and 1 cubit high. Wherefore also they laid the instrument wherewith they slew the burnt offering and the sacrifice. And within their hooks and hand broad fastened round about, and upon the tables was the flesh of an offering. And without the inner gate were the chambers of the singers in the inner court, which was at the side of the north gate, that their prospect was toward the coast south, one at the side of the east gate, having a prospect towards the north. And he said unto me, these chambers whose prospect is towards the south is the priest, the keepers of the charge of the house. And the chambers whose prospect is towards the north is for the priest and the keepers of the charge of the altar. These are the son of Zadok among the son of Levi, which come near to Yahweh to minister unto him. So he measured the court 100 cubits long and 100 cubits broad, 4 square, and the altar that was before the house. And he brought me to the porch of the house, and measured each post of the porch 5 cubits on the side, and 5 cubits on that side. And the breadth of the gates was 3 cubits of the side, and 3 cubits on that side. The length of the porch was 20 cubits, and the breadth 11 cubits. And he brought me by the step whereby they went up to it, and there were pillars by the post, one on this side and another on that side. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 41. Afterward, he brought me to the temple, and he measured the post 6 cubits broad on the side, and 6 cubits broad on the other side, which was breadth of the tabernacle. And the breadth of the door was 10 cubits, and the side of the door were 5 cubits on the other side, and 5 cubits on the other side. And he measured the length therefore 40 cubits, and the broad 20 cubits. Then went he inward and measured the post of the door, 2 cubits at the door, 6 cubits on the breadth of the door, 7 cubits. So he measured the length therefore 20 cubits, and the breadth 20 cubits. Therefore the temple, and he said unto me, thus is the most holy place. After he measured the wall of the house 6 cubits, and the breadth of every side chambers 4 cubits round about the house of every city. And the side chambers were 3 and one over another, and that in order they entered into the wall which was of the house for the side chamber round about, that they might have hold, but they had not hold in the wall of the house. And there was an enlarging and a winding up still upwards to the side chamber, for the winding about of the house went still upwards. Round about the house therefore, and breadth to the house was still upward, and so increased from the lowest chamber to the highest by the midst. And I saw also the heights of the house round about. The fountain of the side chambers were a full reed of 6 great cubits. The thickness of the wall which was for the side chambers without was 5 cubits, and that which was left was the place of the side chambers that were within. And between the chambers was the wideness of 20 cubits round about of the house on every side. And the doors of the side chambers were towards the place that was left, one door towards the north and another door towards the south. And breadth to the place that was left was 5 cubits round about. Now the building that was before the separate place at the end of towards the west was 70 cubits broad, and the wall of the building was 5 cubits thick round about, and the length therefore 90 cubits. So he measured the house 100 cubits long, and the separate place and the building was the wall therefore 100 cubits long. Also the breadth of the face of the house on of the separate place toward the east, and 100 cubits. And he measured the length of the building over against a separate place which was behind it, and the galleries therefore on the side and on the other side 100 cubits, with the inner temple and the porches of the court, the doorpost and the narrow windows, and the galleries round about on their 3 stories over against the door series with wood round about, and from grounded up to the window. And the window were covered to that above the door, even unto the inner house, and without or by all the wall round about within, and without by measure. And it was made with cherubims and palm trees, so that a palm tree was between a cherubim and a cherubim, and every cherubim had 2 faces, so that the faces of man was toward the palm tree, and on the other side the face of a young lion towards the palm tree on the other side. It was made through the house round about, from the ground on to above the door, with cherubims and palm trees made. And on the walls of the temple, the post of the temple was squared, and the face of the sanctuary, they appeared of the one as the appearance of the other. The altar of wood was 3 cubits high, and the length therefore 2 cubits, and the corners therefore, and the length therefore of the walls therefore of wood. And he said unto me, this is the table that is before Yahweh. And the temple and the sanctuary had 2 doors, and the doors had 2 leaves, a piece 2 turning leaves, 2 leaves for one door, and 2 leaves for another door. And there made on them on the door of the temple cherubim and a palm tree, like as were made upon the walls. And they were thick plants upon the face of the porch without. And there were narrow windows of the palm trees on one side and on the other side. And on one side of the porch was upon the side chambers of the house of and thick plants. Ezekiel chapter 42. We are reading the book of Ezekiel chapter 42. Then he brought me forth into the outer court, the way towards the north, and he brought me into the chamber that was over against the separate place, that which was before the building towards the north. Behold, before the length of 100 cubit was the north door, and the breadth was 50 cubit, over against the 20 cubit which were against the inner court, and over against the pavement which was outer court was a gallery against gallery in 3 stories. And before the chambers was a walk of 10 cubit breadth inwards, a way of 1 cubit, and their doors towards the north. Now the upper chambers were shorter, for the galleries were higher than this, than the lower, than the middlemost of the building. For they were in 3 stories, but they had not pillars as the pillars of the court. Therefore the building was straightened more than the lowest and the middlemost from the ground. And the wall that was without over against the chambers toward the outermost court, on the format of the chamber, the length therefore was 50 cubit. For the length of the chambers that were in the outer court was 50 cubit, and lo, before the temple were 100 cubit. And from under the chambers was an entry on the east side as one goes into them from the outer court. The chambers were in the thickness of the wall of the court towards the east, over against the separate place and over against the building. And the way before them was like an appearance of the chambers which were towards the north, as long as they, and so broad as they all their going out were both according to their fashion and according to their door. For according to their door of their chambers that were toward the south was a door in the head of the way, even the way directly before the walls toward the east, as one entered into them. Then he said he unto me, the north chambers and the south chambers which are before the separate place, they be holy chambers, where the priests that approach unto Yahweh shall eat the most holy thing. There shall they lay the most holy thing, and the meat offering, and in sin offering, and the trespass offering, for the place is holy. When the priests enter therein, they not go out of the holy place into the outer court, but they shall lay their garment wherein they minister, for they are holy. And they shall put on the other garments, and they shall approach to those things which are for the people. Now, when he had made an end of measuring the inner house, he brought me forth towards the gate, whose prosper is toward the east, and measured it round about. He measured the east side with the measuring reed, 500 reeds, with the measuring reed round about. He measured the north side, 500 reeds, with the measuring reed round about. He measured the south side, 500 reeds, with the measuring reed. He turned about to the west side, and he measured 500 reeds with the measuring reed. He measured it by the four sides, and it was a wall round about, 500 reeds long and 500 broad, to make a separation between the sanctuary and a profane place. Ezekiel chapter 43. Afterward, he brought me to the gates, even the gates that looks towards the east. And behold, the glory of the Elohim of Israel came from the way from the east, and his voice was like a noise of many waters, and the earth shined with his glory. And it was according to the appearance of the vision which I saw, even according to the vision that I saw when I came to destroy the city. And the vision was like the vision that I saw by the river Cheba, and I fell upon my face. And the glory of Yahweh came into the house by the way of the gates which prospect is toward the east. So the Spirit took me up and brought me into the inner court, and behold, the glory of Yahweh filled the house. And I heard him speaking unto me out of the house, and the man stood by me, and he said unto me, Son of man, the place of my throne and the place of my soul so my feet, where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever, and my holy name shall the house of Israel no more defile, neither they nor their kings by their hoodoo, nor thereby carcasses of their kings in their high places, in their setting of their threefold of my three halls, and their post by my post, and the wall between me and them, and they have defiled my holy name by the abomination that they have committed. Therefore I have consumed them in my anger. Now let them put away their whoredom in the carcasses of their kings far from me. I will dwell in the midst of them forever. You son of man, show the house to the house of Israel, that they may be ashamed of their iniquities, and let them measure the pattern. And if they be ashamed of all that they have done, show them the form of the house and the fashion therefore, and the goings out therefore, and the coming in therefore, and all the forms therefore, and all the ordinance therefore, and all the form therefore, and all the laws therefore, and write it in their sight, that they may keep the whole form therefore, and all the ordinance therefore, and do them. This is the law of the house upon the top of the mountain. The whole limit therefore round about shall be most holy. Behold, this is the law of the house. And these are the measures of the altar of the cubit. The cubit is a cubit and a hand breadth. Even the bottom shall be a cubit, and the breadth a cubit, and the border therefore. The edge therefore round about shall be a span, and there shall be a higher place of the altar. And from the bottom upon the ground, even the lower settle shall be 2 cubits, and the breadth 1 cubit, and the lesser settle, even to the greater settle, shall be 4 cubits, and the breadth 1 cubit. So the altar shall be 4 cubits, and from the altar and upward shall be 4 horns. And the altar shall be 12 cubits long, 12 cubits broad, square, in the 4 squares therefore. And the settle shall be 14 cubits long, and 14 broad, in the 4 squares therefore. And the border about it shall be half a cubit, and the bottom therefore shall be a cubit about, and his stairs shall look towards the east. And he said unto me, Son of man, thus saith the sovereign Yahweh, these are the ordinances of the altar in the day when they shall make it to offer burnt offering therefore, and to sprinkle blood therefore. And you shall give to them priests the Levite that be of the seed of Zadok, which approach unto me to minister unto me, says my sovereign Yahweh, a young bullock for a sin offering. And you shall take of the blood therefore, and put it on the 4 horns of it, and the 4 corners of the settle, and upon the borders round about. That shall you cleanse and purge it. There you shall take the bullock also of the sin offering, and you shall burn it in the appointed place to the house without the sanctuary. And on the second day you shall offer a kid of the goats without blemish for a sin offering, and they shall cleanse the altar as they did cleanse it with bullock. As they cleanse it with bullock. They shall take the bullock also for the sin offering, and they shall burn it in the appointed place of the house of without the sanctuary. On the second day you shall offer a kid of the goats without blemish for a sin offering, and they shall cleanse the altar as they did cleanse it with the bullock. And when you have made an end of cleansing it, you shall offer a young bullock without blemish, and a ram out of the flock without blemish, and you shall offer them before Yahweh, and the priest shall cast salt upon them, and they shall offer them for a burnt offering upon Yahweh. 7 days you shall prepare every day a goat for a sin offering, and you shall also prepare a young bullock and a ram out of their flock without blemish. 7 days shall they purge an altar, purify it, and they shall consecrate themselves. And when these days are expired, it shall be that upon the 8th day and so forth, the priest shall make your burnt offering upon the altar, and your peace offering, and I will accept you, saith my sovereign Yahweh. The book of Ezekiel. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 44. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 44. Then he brought me back by the way of the gate of the outward sanctuary, which looked toward the east, and it was shut. Then said Yahweh unto me, this gate shall be shut, and it shall not be opened, and no man shall enter by it, because Yahweh Elohim of Israel hath entered it by it, therefore it shall be shut. It is for the prince he shall sit in it to eat bread before Yahweh. You shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate, and shall go out by the way of the same. Then brought he me the way of the north gate before the house, and I looked, and behold, the glory of Yahweh filled the house of Yahweh, and I fell upon my face. And Yahweh said unto me, Son of man, mark well and behold with thy eyes, and hear with thy ears, and that I say unto you concerning all the ordinances of the house of Yahweh, and all the laws therefore, and mark well the entering in of the house, and with every going forth of the sanctuary. And you shall say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, thus say my sovereign Yahweh, O you house of Israel, let the surface you all of abomination, in that you have brought into my sanctuary strangers, uncircumcised in the height and uncircumcised in the flesh, to be in my sanctuary, to pollute it, even my house, even you offer my bread, the fat and blood, and they have broken my covenant because of all your abomination. And you have not kept the charge of my holy things, but you have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourself. That's a my sovereign Yahweh. No stranger, uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh shall enter into my sanctuary of any stranger that is among the children of Israel. And the Levites that are gone away far from me, when Israel went astray, which went astray away from me after their idols, they shall even bear the iniquities. Yet they shall be ministered in my sanctuary, having charge at the gate of the house and ministering to the house. They shall slay the burnt offering and the sacrifice for the people, and they shall stand before them to minister unto them. Because they ministered unto them before their idols and caused the house of Israel to fall into iniquity, therefore have I lifted up my hand against them, says my sovereign Yahweh, and they shall bear the iniquities. And they shall not come near unto me to do the office of a priest unto me, nor come near me to any of my holy things in the most holy place, but they shall bear their shame and the abomination which they have committed. But I will make them keepers of the charge of the house, for all the service therefore and all that shall be done therein. But the priest, the Levites, the son of Zadok, that kept the charge of my sanctuary, when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall come near to me to minister unto me, and they shall stand before me to offer unto me the fat and the blood, says sovereign Yahweh. They shall enter into my sanctuary, and they shall come near to my table to minister unto me, and they shall keep my charge. And it shall come to pass that when they enter in at the gates of the inner court, they shall be clothed with linen garments, and no wool shall come upon them, while they minister into the gates of the inner court, and wear wind. And they shall have linen bonnets upon their heads, and they shall have linen breeches upon their loins. They shall not grind themselves in anything that causes sweat. And when they go forth into the outer court, even to the outer court of the people, they shall put off their garments, wherein they ministered, and lay them in the holy chambers, and they shall put no other garment, and they shall not sanctify the people with their garment. Neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long. They shall only pull their heads. Neither shall any priest drink wine when they enter into the inner court. Neither shall they take for their wives a widow. Neither shall they take for their wives a widow, nor her that is put away, but they shall take maidens of the seed of the house of Israel, or a widow that had a priest before. And they shall teach my people the difference between holy and profane, and cause them to discern between clean and unclean. And in the controversies they shall study judgment, and they shall judge it according to my judgment. And they shall keep my law and my statutes in all my assembly, and they shall hallow my Sabbath. And they shall come at no dead person to defile themselves, but for fathers, or for mothers, or for sons, or for daughters, or brothers, or for sisters that have no husband, they may defile themselves. And after he is cleaned, they shall reckon unto him 7 days. And in the days that he goeth into the sanctuary, unto the inner court, to minister into the sanctuary, he shall offer his sin offering, says my sovereign Yahweh. And it shall be upon them for an inheritance. I am their inheritance, and you shall give them no position in Israel. I am their position. And they shall eat the meat offering, and the sin offering, and the trespass offering, and every dedicated thing in Israel shall be theirs. And the first of their first fruit of all things, and every obligation of all, of every sort of the obligation, shall be the priest. You shall also give unto the priest the first of your dove, that the priest, you shall also give unto the priest the first of your dove, that he may cause the blessing to rest in your house. The priest shall not eat of anything that is dead of itself or torn, whether it be full or breast. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters. We are now in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 45, and I hope that we can read together. I let my brother read. Thank you so much.
Ezekiel chapter number 45, according to Hallelujah scriptures. And when you divide the land, by lot into the inheritance offering, offer a contribution to Yahweh, a Kodesh portion of the land, in the length of 25,000 long and in width 10,000, this being Kadosh throughout its border all around. This is a square plot, is to be the Kadosh place 500 by 500 with 50 armor all around it for an open space. And from this measure you are to measure 25,000 long and 10,000 wide, and in it it's to be the Mikdash, the most Kodesh place. This is to be a Kodesh portion of the land belonging to the Kohenim, the attendants of the Mikdash, who drew near to serve Yahweh. It shall be a place for the houses and Kadosh ground for the Mikdash, and 25,000 in length and 10,000 in width is for the Levites, the attendants of the house, for the possession 20 rooms, and give the city as a possession 5,000 wide and 25,000 long. Beside the contribution of the Kodesh portion, it belongs to the house of Israel. And the prince is to have a portion on one side of the other of the Kadosh contribution, and for the possession of the city and bordering of the Kadosh contribution to possess of the city, and of the west side westward, and the east in eastward, and the length of the alongside of the portions of the west borders of the east to the east border of the land of this his possession in Israel. My princes shall no longer oppress my people, and they shall give the land of the house of Israel according to their tribes. Thus says the Master Yahweh, and a few prisons in you of you put of Israel, put away violence and pondering, and do right ruling and righteousness, and stop the evictions of my people, declares Adon Yahweh. Have right scales and light ephah and right bath, and let the ephah of the bath be the same of measure, so that the bath contains 1/10 of the homer, of the 10th of ephah, of the 10th of a homer. Let the measure be according to the homer. And the shekel is 20 gerahs of the minor in 20 shekels, 25 shekels, 15 shekels. This is the contribution which you present. You shall give 1/60 of an ephah from the homer, of which 1/6 of an ephah from homer barley. And the law concerning oil, the bread offering of oil is 1/10 of the bath from coal, and on its a homer 10 baths, for 10 baths are homer, and 1 ram from a flock from 200, and from watered pastures of Israel for grain offerings, and for burnt offerings, and for peace offerings, to make atonement for them, declares the Master Yahweh. And all the people of the land are to give the contribution to the prince in Israel, and on the priest of all the burnt offerings and the grain offerings, of the drink offerings, of the festival, the new moons and the Sabbaths, in all the appointed times of the house of Israel, he is to prepare the sin offering and the grain offering and the burnt offering and the peace offerings, and to make atonement for the house of Israel. Thus says the Master Yahweh, in the first month of the first of the month, you are to take a young bull and a perfect one, and shall cleanse the Mikdash, and the Kohen shall make some of the blood of the sin offering, and put it on the doorpost, and on the house of the four corners, on the ridge of the altar, on the post of the gate of the inner court, and the same of the 7th month. Anyone who makes a mistake or is foolish, and you shall make atonement for the house in the first month, on the 14th day of the month. You are to have the Sack festival of the 7 days, and even bread is eaten, and on that day the prince shall prepare for himself for all the people of the land a bull for sin offering, and for 7 days of the festival he prepares a burnt offering to Yahweh, 7 bulls, 7 lambs, perfect ones daily for 7 days, and a male goat daily for a sin offering, and he prepares a grain offering, 1 ephah for each bull, and 1 ephah for each lamb, together with him, and an oil of each ephah. In the 7th month, on the 15th day of the month, at the festival, he prepares like these 7 days, as the sin offering, as the burnt offerings, as for the grain offerings, and also as the oil. Ezekiel chapter number 46, according to Hallelujah scriptures, according to the way it has been arranged in order, according to the Tanakh, it says, thus says the Master Yahweh, the gate of the inner courtyard facing the east is shut in the 6 days of work, but on the Sabbath it is open. And on the day of the new moon it is open, and the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of the gate from the outside, and he shall stand by the porch, and the Kohen shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings, and he shall bow himself at the threshold of the gate, and shall go out, but the gate is not shut until evening. And the people of the land shall also bow themselves at the entrance of this gate before Yahweh. On the Sabbath, on the new moons, and the burnt offerings of the prince brings to Yahweh on the Sabbath day in 6 lambs, perfect ones, and lamb and a perfect one, and the grain offering is 1 ephah of a ram, and the grain offering of the lambs, and a gift of his hand, and a hin of oil, and of an ephah. And on the day of the new moon a young bull and a perfect one, 6 lambs and a lamb, they should be perfect. And he prepares a grain offering and an ephah for a bull, and an ephah for a ram, and for the lambs, and his hand attains, and a hin of oil of an ephah. And when the prince enters, he comes by the way of the porch of the gate, and he goes out the same way. And when the people of the land enter before Yahweh at the appointed times, whoever shall enter by the way of the north gate, and bow himself goes out by the way of the south gate, and whoever enters by the way of the south gate goes out by the way of the north gate, and he shall not return by the way of the gate through which he come, but goes out through the opposite one. And the old prince is to be in the mere midst, entering the Yahweh enter, and going out they go out. And in the festival, in the appointed times, in the grain offerings is an ephah of a bull, and an ephah for a lamb, and a lamb for the gift of his hand, and a hin of oil for an ephah. When the prince makes us a spontaneous burnt offering, spontaneous peace offering to Yahweh, the gate of the facing east shall be opened for him, and he shall prepare for his burnt offering and his peace offerings, and as he did on the Sabbath day. And he shall go out after he goes out of the gate, and shall be shut, and made daily burnt offerings to Yahweh for a ram and year old, and a perfect one, preparing in morning by morning, and prepare of graining with its morning, and 6 an ephah of the third on the hin, and moisten the fire, fine flour, and grain offering to Yahweh continually everlasting rose, and prepare a lamb and a grain offering to the oil morning by morning, continue burnt offering. That says the Master Yahweh. When the prince gives a gift of some of his inheritance to any of his sons and belongings to his sons, it is a position by inheritance. And when he gives a gift for some to his inheritance to one of his servants, then it shall be to his till the year of release, then it shall be to the prince. Only the inheritance of his sons is theirs, and the prince does not take any of the people's inheritance by evicting them from their possession. He is to give his sons the inheritance from their own possession, so that none of my people are separated from his possession. And he brought me through the entrance of which at the side of the gate into the Kadosh rooms of the Kohenim facing the north. Look, there was a place of the extreme area toward the east. And he said to me, this is the place where the Kohenim cook the guilt offering, the guilt offering of sin offering, where they bake the grain offering, as not to bring them out into the outer courtyard to Kadosh the people. And he brought me into the outer courtyard, and made me pass along the 4 corners of the courtyard. And look, in every corner of the courtyard was another courtyard, and in the 4 corners of the courtyard were 40 covered, over 40 arm long and 30 wide. These 4 corners having one measure, and a row of building stones, and all around in them, and all around the 4 of them, and places of fire were made under the rows all around. And he said to me, these are the kitchens where the attendants of the house cook, and the slaughterings of the people. Hallelujah. Scriptures in the book of Ezekiel, chapter number 47. And he turned me back to the door of the house, and look, the water was flowing from under the threshold of the house toward the east, for the house faced east, and the water was flowing from under the right side in the house, from the south of the altar. And he led me out by the way of the north gate, and took me around all the side and the outer gate facing the east. And look, the water trickling out of the right side. And as the man went out to the east with the line in the hand, and he measured 1,000 armor, and he said to me, pass over into the water in the ankles. And he measured 1,000 and made me pass over into the water to the knees. And he measured 1,000 and made me pass over the water to the loins. And he measured 1,000 a stream and was unable to pass over, for the water had risen, water of swing and stream that is not passed over. And he said to me, Son of man, have you seen this? And he led me and brought me back to the bank of the stream. When I returned to them along the bank of the stream were very many waters, were very many trees on the side of the other. And he said to me, these waters are flowing toward the eastern country and to go down into Araba and enter sea, and being made to flow into the sea, and the waters shall be healed. And it shall be that every swarming creatures, wherever the stream goes, shall live, and there shall be a very many fish. For these waters shall go there, and they are healed. And wherever the stream flows, all shall live. And it shall be that fishermen stand along it from El Gedi and to El Galean, being places for spreading their nets, for the fish is to be as they get of the same kind as the fish of the great sea, very many. Its swamps and marshes shall not be sealed they shall be given over to the salt, and by the bank of the stream on both sides to grow all kinds of the trees used by food, for whose leaves are not wither, and fruit do not fail. They bear fruit every month, because their water flows in the Mikdash, and their fruit shall be for good, and their leaves for healing. Thus says the Master Yahweh, this is the border by which you inherit the land according to the 12 tribes of Israel, 2 portions for yourself, and for you shall inherit each one of the same as his brother. For I lifted my hand in an oath, and give it to your fathers in this land, and shall fall to you as your inheritance. And this is the border of the land of the north, the gate of the sea, the way to Edom, as the one goes to Sodek. Hamath Beroth, Siberian, which is between the border of Damascus from the sea of Qatar and Nan, and also the border of Damascus on the north toward the north is the border of the Hamath. This is the north side, and the east side is from between Haran and Damascus and Gilead and the land of Israel. They are then from the border of the eastern side of the sea, and you are to measure. This is the east side. And the south side toward Negev is from Tamar, from the waters of Meribah to Kadesh along the wadi of the great sea. This is the south side toward Negev. And the west side is the great sea from the border to the point opposite Hamath. This is the west side. And you shall divide this land among yourselves according to the tribes of Israel. And it shall be that you divide it by lot as an inheritance for yourselves and for the strangers who sojourn in your midst, who bear your children among you. And they shall be yours as a native born, the children of Israel with you. They have an inheritance in the midst of the tribes of Israel. And it shall be that in whatever tribe the stranger sojourns, there give him his inheritance, declares the Adon. The north, and along the way to Herthroth, and to the entrance of Hamath and Hazar and Ainan, the border of Damascus northward, by the side of the Hamath from its side, its west side, Dan one, and by the border of Dan from the east side to the west of Asherah one, and by the other border of Asherah of the east of side to the west Naphtali one, and by the border of Naphtali from the east side to the west Manasseh one, and by the border of Manasseh from the east side to the west Ephraim one, and by the border of Ephraim from the east side of the west of Reuben one, and by the border of Reuben from the east side to the west Yehudah one. And by the border of Yehudah from the east side to the west is the contribution of which offer up to 25,000 in width and in length, the same as one the portions from the east side to the west, while the Mikdash in its midst, the contribution that you offer up to Yahweh is 25,000 in length and 10,000 in width. And of this is the Kodesh contribution of the Kohanim of the north, and 25,000, and of the west, of the west 10,000 in the width, on the east, of east 10,000 in the width, and on the south 25,000, and in the length. And the Mikdash of Yahweh shall be in its midst. For the Kohanim and for his sons Zadok, who are Kadosh, who are guarded my charge, who did not go astray when the children of Israel went astray, as the Levites went astray, so this contribution shall be to them from the contribution of the land. The most Kodesh priests by the border of the Levites and alongside the border of the Kohanim and the Levites 25,000, in the length 10,000, in the width, and its entire length is 25,000, and its width 10,000, and they do not sell any of it, nor exchange it, nor transfer this best part of the land, for it is Kodesh to Yahweh. And the 5,000 that is left facing the 25,000 is for the common use by the city for dwellings and open land, and the city shall be in its midst. And these are its measurements by the north 4,500 and the south side 4,500, and the east 4,500, and for the west side 4,500. And for the open land of the city shall be to the north to the 250, and to the south 250, and to the east 250, and to the west 250. And the rest of the land alongside the contribution, the Kodesh portion is 10,000 to the east, 10,000 to the west, and there shall be alongside to the contribution the Kodesh portion, and its increase shall be for food for the workers of the city, and the workers of the city from all the tribes of Israel shall till. The entire contribution is 25,000, and 25,000 four square. You are to offer up the Kodesh contribution, the possession of the city, and the rest of the prince on one side, and on the other of the Kodesh contribution and of the possession of the city, facing 25,000 armor to the Kodesh contribution as far as the eastern border, and western faced one 25,000 as far as the western border, alongside the portions in the prince, and the Kodesh contribution in Mikdash of the house shall be in its midst. So the possession of the Levites and the possession of the city are in the midst of what belongs to the prince, between the border of Yehuda and the border of Yamin. It belongs to the prince. And as for the rest of the tribes, from the east side to the west side, Benjamin one, and by the border of Benjamin from the east side to the west side Shimon one, and by the border of Shimon from the east side to the west of side Issachar one, and to the border of Issachar from the east side to the west side Zebulun one, and to the border of Zebulun to the east side to the west side Gad one. And the border of Gad to the south, the toward, and the Negeb, the border shall be from Tamal in the waters of Meribah by Kadesh, along the wadi of the great sea. This is the land which you divide by lot as an inheritance among the tribes of Israel, and these are their portions, declares Adon Yahweh. And these are the exits of the city, the gates of the city according to the names of the tribes of Israel. On the north side, measuring 4,503 gates, and for the 3 gates northward, 1 gate of Reuben, 1 gate for Yehuda, 1 gate for Ravi, and on the other side 4,500 3 gates, 1 gate for Joseph, 1 gate for Benjamin, and 1 gate for Dan. And on the south side, measuring 4,500 3